get started. Thanks everybody for coming. Members of the media, appreciate you coming on somewhat short notice. Obviously here today, just want to officially introduce Coach Kaminsky is our new head men's basketball coach. Also want to thank Mike Berry, the search committee. Obviously anytime you're a part of these search processes, they're very intensive and it takes a lot of time and effort for your staff, and so thank you to him and that group. We had a great pool this time around, a really deep pool, which was exciting for us at Wayne State. But that being said, Coach Kaminsky was the one who was able to not only communicate his vision for our men's basketball program, but the roadmap in which we're going to achieve success here. And obviously with his vast amount of experiences in similar situations, able to turn programs around, he just was an excellent fit for us. I couldn't be more excited to have him here at Wayne State leading our men's basketball program and also, of course, being part of our staff. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Jeff. I'll let him introduce his staff, talk a little bit about himself, and what's been going on in the past 30 days. So again, Coach.
Thanks, Mike, and thank all of you, first of all, for being here, even though some of you may have come because you heard we had an air-conditioned lobby here, so it's a little warm out there, but I do appreciate all of you being here. And a special thanks to Mr. Powicki, Mike Powicki, our athletic director, and as Mike mentioned, Mike Berry and the search committee, and President Ramus as well. I am thrilled to be the head basketball coach at Wayne State, and definitely looking forward to all the things that we can accomplish, and hope to be here for a long time. Before I talk about all the things and all the reasons why I'm excited to be here, I do want to also express my appreciation to Valley City State, where I most recently was at for 11 years, and had a great experience here. And certainly me coming to Wayne had nothing to do with the desire to leave there. I think Valley City is a special place, and a lot of tremendous people that I had an opportunity to work with there. 3 ADs and 3 presidents. Have a great respect for the coaches who are on staff there at Valley City, and especially for the assistant coaches that I work with, and our players. Our players had a great deal of success, on the court, off the court, in the classroom, and clearly without the success that they had, I would not have this opportunity. So I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had there, and certainly appreciative of all the people and players that I had a chance to work with. I also want to thank my family. I'm very fortunate in that I have a very supportive family. I'm originally from Wheaton, Illinois, and most of my family still lives in the Chicago area. My mom and dad, who I owe a great deal to, just moved out of their house in Wheaton and moved up to Burlington, Wisconsin. I have 2 sisters. My one sister, Kathy, lives near my parents in Burlington, and my other sister, Jan, and her husband, Rich, they live in northern Illinois. I have a brother, Scott, who also does some basketball coaching, and his wife, Jody, and they live just outside of Chicago, and they're very, very supportive. They'll be at some games, and when they're not at games, they will be watching games on the internet. And after each game, whether my mom is here or on the internet, she will critique the game. So I will get the scouting report there, and she usually tells me mostly positive, but generally she'll ask why I didn't play this guy more, that guy more, that guy more, and I continue to explain to her I can only play 5 guys at a time, and I'm pretty sure that rule will exist coming to Nebraska as well. But she's an advocate for the players, so that's definitely a good thing. But they're very supportive. Fortunately, with our conference, we get back that way quite a bit, getting into Iowa and Minnesota, and they'll have a chance probably to see a few more games than where I was recently at. So that's a good thing. Some introductions. First, I'm privileged to introduce my wife and best friend, Cindy. She's in the back there, and we've been married for 27 years, so they've been 27 great years for me. Not sure how many for her, but I think some or most anyway, so that's a good thing. But we met, she's originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan, And we met when I was in college at Grand Valley State, and we've been together ever since. And she right now has the kind of the tough job of cleaning and selling, trying to sell our house back in Valley City. So she actually came down to Wayne last night, and this is the first day outside of the day that I interviewed here that we've actually spent in Wayne together. So we're looking forward to starting our new journey here and getting to relocate here, hopefully fairly soon. Also, to my right here, I'm very privileged to introduce Nathan Stover, and Nathan will be our new full-time assistant men's basketball coach. We've had an opportunity to work together the last 11 years, so I'm excited to continue that relationship. Nathan was at Valley City State with me for 11 years as the assistant coach. Prior to that, he was a head high school coach for 4 years in North Dakota. And then prior to that, he was a graduate assistant at North Dakota State in Fargo for 2 years. And one of those years, he worked under Coach McDermott. And of course, that's a popular name around here. And Coach McDermott worked with Coach Stover for a year. And then, of course, he's gone on to have great success, as we all know, starting here and at North Dakota State, and then now where he's at Creighton. One of the highlights of our season coming up is that on November 4th, we will have an opportunity to play Creighton here at Wayne State. So we're excited about that. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be favored in that game, but we are going to compete. And we appreciate Coach McDermott and Creighton allowing us the opportunity to play in an exhibition game. To have an opportunity to play against a Big East school is a pretty special experience. So we had an opportunity to do that this past year with our team at Valley City when we went and played Marquette. So we're making the Big East rotation here, and definitely excited about that. And again, appreciate Coach McDermott allowing that game to happen. Coach Stover is married. His wife, Kristen, is from Freeman, South Dakota, so not too far from here. So she'll bring down some more fans to Wayne State games. They have a daughter, Kaylee, who's a year and a half old, and she's generally will be the center of attention when she's around. So, yeah, so we didn't have her here, or else the press conference would be all her. So, which is okay. That's generally a good thing. So, the rest of our coaching staff, Jordan Holdsworth is our graduate assistant, and he was in the program last year. And I owe him a great deal of gratitude. Before I was hired here, he was sort of a one-man show, running camps and getting recruiting started. And even as I got hired during this transition, he's done a tremendous job kind of keeping things afloat here. And he's not here today because he's in Iowa working a basketball camp there. But he's been on the road with us, and it's good to have him in the program. Not only was he here last year as a graduate assistant, but of course he was here as a player and had success here. So it's really good to have him with us. And then Tanner Cook was a student assistant here last year. He's also in a graduate program and working on his master's degree. So that will be our coaching staff. So really a great week for the assistant coaching staff here, with being able to formally have Nathan on board and signing his contract on Monday. So he's off and running here, and it's going to be great to continue our working relationship together. So we have a lot of work to do. This is a great conference that we're in. I have tremendous respect for the Northern Sun. I'm very familiar with the conference. My team's at Valley City, and going back to Superior, we've played 12 of the teams in the league. I've actually been on 15 of the 16 campuses in the conference, so I'm very familiar with the conference. I have a great deal of respect. Obviously, one of the teams in our league won the national championship, this year. Without question, it's one of the best leagues in the country. One of the things that is going to make this job very challenging, is how good this league is. And it's a very competitive league from top to bottom. But it's also, to me, one of the reasons that makes this job so appealing. Because if you can compete, when you compete at the upper end of the NSIC, you in fact can compete nationally. And that needs to be our goal. So I'm definitely excited about the opportunity to coach at Wayne State and to be part of the NSIC. I realize, where our program is at. We haven't had a lot of success in recent years. I think one winning season in the last 8 years. But there is a tradition of being able to win here in men's basketball. And clearly, if you look at other sports on campus, we have other sports right now that are having a lot of success, not just at the conference level, but also at the national level. So, that's exciting to me. And it needs to be our goal, and I believe this is a program in men's basketball that can compete at the upper end of the NSIC, and we can do it with the type of student athletes, who are going to represent us very well, not just on the court, but off the court as well and in the classroom. So definitely excited about that possibility. As I look at Wayne State, to me there's already a lot of good things in place. One is we have a very supportive administration. I'm very much looking forward to working for Mike Kowicki, the athletic department staff and coaches I've had a chance to work with so far, and particularly the staff upstairs has really been amazing since I've been here. Had an opportunity to deal with a few other departments on campus, and they've been fantastic. So clearly, to me, this is going to be a really good place to work. So I'm looking forward to that. We also have, a good nucleus of young players in the program. And I've said before, any type of success that we may have early is primarily going to be dependent on the development of those players that are in our program. So I'm looking forward, as Coach Stover's looking forward to getting the year started and working with those guys, and also the new guys that we have coming in, and really starting to develop our program. To me, having a successful program is really not that complicated. It's not easy, but it's really not that complicated. You have to have good people. I mean, it obviously helps to have a supportive administration, which I believe we have. You need to have a good coaching staff, which I believe we have. And you have to have talented players, and you have to develop those players, and then you have to develop them into a team. So the formula is not all that complicated, but clearly a big part of being successful here and having good players and developing them is also recruiting good players. And when it comes to recruiting, you really have to, one, be able to sell your basketball program. I think there's so many positive things here about being a basketball player at Wayne State College. You have to be able to sell your community. You have to be able to sell your institution or your college. And I'm going to finish with this, and I'll open it up for questions. 3 weeks ago is when I arrived here, and I was here just for a couple of days, and then I was off recruiting. And I went to Omaha. So my first recruiting trip, I went to the Omaha Sports Academy and went to an AAU tournament there. First time I'm out representing Wayne State, so I've got my Wayne State shirt on. And I was there for an afternoon and an evening, and it was amazing how many people I had come up to me and say something positive or have a good story about Wayne State. I was there for a short time. A guy came up to me and said, "Hey, Coach Kaminsky, congratulations on the job. My son just graduated from Wayne State. Had a great experience there. It's a great school. You're really going to love it there." Short time later, another individual comes up to me and says, "Hey, Coach, well, congratulations on the job. My daughter goes to school there. She loves the city, loves the college. Having a great experience. You're really going to love it there." Short time later, another guy comes up to me. I grew up in Wayne. My parents still live there. My mom worked at the college. Fantastic place to live. Fantastic school. You're really going to love it at Wayne. So finally I get to the end, and there were probably about 10 of those conversations that I had. Finally I get to the end of the night, and they had 4 games going at a time. So there were 2 games I really wanted to watch. So I planted myself in between the courts. I had a court here, a court there, so I'm watching 2 games, multitasking, so kind of what coaches do. And one game was ahead of the other one, and the one game gets to halftime. And all of a sudden I see this official kind of charging towards me, and I'm like, what did I do to upset an official already? I've only been in Nebraska for 2 days. And so this guy's coming over, and Coach, I just want to introduce myself. I went to Wayne State, graduated 10 years ago. Great experience, great school. You're going to love it there. We had a short conversation. He had to go back out and officiate. So now I'm watching. This is absolutely true. watching the other game. Gets to halftime. Official, big guy, running over towards me. And I'm like, what did I do to this guy? So he comes over and says basically the same thing. He says, Coach, I played basketball at Wayne, went to school there, great experience. He said, I can't tell you enough positive things about Wayne State. I'm from Omaha. I'm now an administrator in the Omaha public school system. And I didn't know if I wanted to go to Wayne, when I came out of Omaha. And he said, it changed my life. He said, Wayne State changed my life. So that was really powerful to me. So I'm leaving, Omaha. And I know one thing, I've been in coaching a long time. And there are so many things to be successful with a program that as a coach, you can't control. There's a lot of things that are completely out of your control. If those things don't work for you, it's going to be more challenging. But I left listening to that stuff thinking, man, we can be successful here. We can be successful here. So I felt good about that, and I'm really honored to be the head coach here, and I'm excited about what we can accomplish, and I'm ready to get started. So with that, I appreciate everybody being here. And I will open it up if anyone has any questions. If you have really tough questions, we have Nathan here and Mike over there. But other than that, I'll handle the rest of them.